Hi everyone, welcome to GoSuits YouTube channel, and today we are discussing step-by-step process of handling personal injury cases. We have attorney Sean Chalaki. He's our founding partner and he will be telling us all about it. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to this topic.
And first, a lot of our clients wonder why does the process take so long, and I would like for you maybe first to list all the steps of the process, and then we can dig into each step in more detail.
Absolutely. So let's divide the steps into two categories. The first category is the claim stage, and then the second category is the lawsuit stage. The claim stage starts with a free initial evaluation majority of the time. Then we do the investigations. Then we sign you up. After we sign you up, we go through the process of you getting the medical attention that you need. After you're done with your treatment, we gather your medical records. We submit those medical records to the insurance company. That is called the demand process. They give us an offer. We negotiate that offer. We either settle or file suit. And then if we file suit, we go to the next stage. If we don't file suit, then the case is settled and it's done with. When we go to the next stage, once we file suit, the case goes into a court process. The first step of the court process is discovery. After discovery, that's when we exchange information. We go into mediation, and after mediation is trial. And if we win or lose a trial, then it goes to Court of Appeals, which rarely ever happens.
Wow, that is a long process. So if I understand correctly, in total there are 8 steps involved in the process. For some cases it's shorter, for some cases it might take extra step. So let's dig into the first stage and what does it look like for the clients, and when do they decide to go with you as an attorney?
The initial evaluation stage is the stage that you contact us. We go through your case with you. We discuss it with you. One of the attorneys gets on the phone and they do the initial understanding of what has happened. And then right after that stage, we go into the investigation stage where we try to find witnesses, video footages, inspect the scene or inspect the vehicles, and we investigate the case to see what kind of a case we have. And if it's a product liability, motor vehicle collision, truck accident, slip and fall, and we try to put the package together. Then we say, yes, you have a good case. We sign you up. After we sign you up, we continue with our investigations and gathering evidence while you're getting the medical attention that you need. Majority of the duration of the personal injury case is during the time that you get the medical attention. Most people ask me, how long is my case going to take? And the first question I ask them is, how long is your treatment going to take? When are you going to be better? That's when we figure out, hey, you have partially or fully recovered, and we can move on to the next stage, which is gathering all of the records from the medical providers that you have attended to. From hospitals, we have to gather bills and records, and every single stage of the doctors that you were referred to. We put all of those medical records into a demand package, a package that goes out to the insurance companies, and they get to review it and process it and analyze your bills, records, injuries, and see if they were related to the incident or if they were pre-existing, or how are they going to come up with their arguments. Then they make an offer to us, and that's the negotiation stage. When the initial offer comes in, we go back and forth with the insurance company, and then we will tell you what their final offer is and how much we were able to negotiate it. Now, our firm, in our contract, we even state that it's your choice if you want to litigate the case or settle the case. We will give you our recommendation. However, if you choose not to go with our recommendation, we still have to listen and follow your instructions. If you decide to take the case to court, we have to take the case to court. If you decide to settle it, then we have to settle the case. If the case settles, then that's when the case wraps up and we go into a different process. However, if the case does not settle, we draft what is called the petition in the state of Texas and a complaint if it goes to federal court. And we file that with the court. Once we file with the court, there is the answer process step that the other side gets to answer to our petition or claim. and that takes anything between 30 to 50 days depending on how it was filed, and it may be even longer because sometimes we have to serve the individuals, and the service of process even takes longer being able to find them. And it's some of those movies that you watch where they're trying to serve someone, and that's what that next step is, where they're trying to serve them. And once they're served, they file the answer, we go into the discovery stage. At the discovery stage is where we exchange information, we exchange our evidence, they exchange their evidence, and we sit at a table where we get to ask questions from their client, and they get to ask questions from you. And that process of asking questions back and forth in a meeting with a court reporter there is called a deposition. Once we're done with the depositions, we take deposition of doctors, experts, and everyone else that is needed to process the case. After all those steps is needed, before we go to trial, we go to a mediation. At the mediation process, that's when a third non-biased individual sits and listens to both sides of the stories, usually in a private room with each party in that private room. And he goes back and forth between the room discussing the evidence, discussing the strength and weaknesses of the case, and hoping to reach a middle ground where both parties walk away, I always say, unhappy. Because if one of them is walking happy, the other one is not, that means either the insurance company won or you won. And then hopefully my clients are always happy. But the truth of the matter is, majority of the time, both parties walk away with what they didn't expect out of it, but a fair settlement of what they would have probably got at trial. And the last step is, if mediation fails, we go towards trial. And at trial, that's when we see it like what you have seen it on Law and Order and every other movie out there, where we litigate it, and as an attorney, we have the peer of a juror, juror of facts, and they analyze everything, and the judge will be sitting on the bench, and we go through the entire process. That's the trial stage. And if we win at that stage, then you get a verdict, and then we have to collect on our verdict, which is called a judgment, and we have to be able to collect that judgment from the insurance company. That takes a while to do that as well. And if at any point, this is called the appeal process, and if at any point one person lost or won a trial, decides to take it to a higher court, Court of Appeals, then we go through the Court of Appeal process, which is rarely ever happens in personal injury cases, but it does happen. I know it was lengthy.
Yeah,
I know it was too much,
No,
but
it's okay.
I tried to abbreviate it as much as I could. And each of these steps are much longer, and we will break it down in the future videos.
No, thank you. Basically, you've explained the full process step by step. And I just have maybe a couple more questions just to clarify. So when clients first approach personal injury law firm, specifically GoSuits, how do they contact you? Through a phone call or through email? What is the best way to reach to you?
I always say there's millions of ways to contact us. You can go on Google. You can go on our website. There's a chat. Our chat is kind of going to be automated, so it gathers the beneficial information that we need, and it gets you into one of our reps and eventually to an attorney. Then there is the text messaging, there is calls, and there's emails. You're going to make a phone call where we're going to walk you through the entire detail. So if you just want to make that phone call, it's the fastest and easier way.
Okay, phone call sounds good. And my other question was, so you've described this very lengthy process, and can you give us an estimate of how long does it usually take, maybe like a range for a case to be processed?
It goes back to the question that everyone else asked me, how long does it take for you to treat?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But most cases, most treatments on regular MVA case takes anything between 9 to approximately maybe 16, 17 months. The statute of limitation on MVA cases, most of them, if it's not a wrongful death, is 2 years. So you have to file suit beforehand, before that time period. But for all the other more complex cases, I've had a case for 5 years, and I've had a case that took me 60 days to do. and that was because of policy limits. A lot of factors comes in, so there's no preset numbers in reality.
I have a lot of questions still, and I think each of the steps of the process needs their own individual videos. So follow, like this video, subscribe to our channel to stay tuned and to be informed about each of the steps in a personal injury case. And thank you so much for your time. I hope it was very interesting for our viewers. Comment below with your questions. Anything else you want to add?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I want to explain all the process, so let's watch the next of the videos because they get more exciting, especially the investigation process for the people that like law and order.
Thank you. Thanks for your time, and see you all in our next videos. Bye.